work with others and the health of relationships. You're ready to do some reflecting and thinking in a non-manual speech, 5 to 7, titled Inflow, Outflow, Overflow. That's welcome, Jessi.
So do you ever have those moments where you hear an idea or concept and it won't leave you, and then it keeps rearing its head over and over again? Well, for me this year, that was the concept of inflow and outflow. So I want to talk about that today with you. And this all started back in April when at my church they did a sermon series, and the title of that was Overflow. And the message, the overall theme of this series was whatever is flowing out of you is what others are receiving. So what is the overflow of your heart and your mind? And the first part of that series was talking about inflow and the importance of what you take in and the impact on then what you give out to the world. Now, I still believe in the goodness of humans, even though there are people every day trying to prove me wrong in this theory. But I really do believe that at the end of the day, we want to do good for ourselves and we want to do good for others around us. And in order to be able to produce that good, we have to be very mindful of what we're taking in, because it has a direct impact on what comes out. So I wanted to talk about this concept of inflow today and the importance of it, but I think we first have to talk about what is exactly outflow and what am I talking about there. So you go to a party or you go to a dinner and that person shows up. And this is that person. I want you guys to think about this. Think if you know this person in your life, where they show up and you're so excited to see them. You know, the minute they walk in the room, they light it up, they're excited to be there, you're excited to see them. You're just going to feel good after interacting with them. Can you guys think of somebody that fits that? Then think of the person that when they walk in the room, you look down at your drink and you think, I need a refill. Can you think of that person? I haven't seen it, but recently SNL did a skit with Kate McKinnon, and she was the girl at the party that nobody wants to interact with. Yeah. You can think of that person, right? Probably easier to think of that person maybe than the person that makes you feel good. What is it about these two people? Why are they so different? Why do we feel so different when we're around them? I believe that's because of their outflow. What are you getting from them? See, outflow for yourself is how you feel about yourself, your self-image, your self-worth, your confidence. Outflow to others really comes down to your reactions to them and your interactions with them. And ultimately that leads to influence. So however I react to somebody or whatever I give to them through an interaction is what they receive from me. So a couple months back, I was driving. I was on 35 merging, and I was in one of those situations where there was a car in my blind spot. So either speed up, and you get in front of them, or slow down, and get behind them. So I tried the maneuver, and they just weren't playing along. So I did my only option, which was to floor it and get in front of them. I had nowhere else to go. And of course they got irritated with me and they swerved around. And as they were coming up inside me, I flipped them off. And I almost wrecked my car. Not because my hands were not on the wheel, distracted with other gestures, but I was so taken aback by my reaction. I've never flipped anybody off that automatically. It was like taking a breath. It just came out of me from nowhere. And it caused me to stop and think, wow, where did that come from? What is causing that? And I don't know. It could have been something that happened to me that morning, it could have been something that happened to me 3 days prior, but there was something that inflowed into me. Something that I took in that caused that outflow, caused that reaction. And so this concept of inflow became really important to me, because is that really what I want to be giving back to the world? Do I want to be the crazy lady on I-35 just flipping people off? Trying to not get shot, having to call Connie. So inflow matters. I want you to think about how you start your day. So take out a pen if it helps you to write down or think about it in mind. When you first wake up in the morning, what are the 3 activities you do first? Got it? So don't overthink it. What are the first 3 things you do when you wake up? If you're like most Americans, you set your alarm on your phone. So after you turn off your alarm, you probably check your email, you check your Facebook, and you take in some form of news, whether it's local news, national news, news on the TV. That's how I used to start my day. And what I noticed when I started reflecting on this is when I got to work, I was stressed out. I was anxious about my to-do list because I checked all my emails and seen what had come in. And I didn't really want to interact with anybody. I was ready to get to work, dive right in. And that's what my coworkers were experiencing. That's what I became to them. And so as I started to kind of re-engineer my inflow, I noticed a couple of things. So what I encourage you to do today, and what I want you to take away today, is think about these 3 things and how you start your day. And can you take one of them away, the one that will hurt the least, and can you add in something that is a more positive source of inflow? So for me, that was a couple of things. One is a daily gratitude practice. And everybody's talking about gratitude right now, and it's a great concept, right? But why does it matter? This is me. I'm like, well, okay, great. I can think of 3 things I'm thankful for. When I wake up in the morning, I'm thankful for the same 3 things. Coffee, my bed, and Chad. Every single day. What gratitude does is it frames your mind in a positive manner versus framing it in something that's negative. It helps. I also meditate. And I don't meditate so that I can be the most calm, soothing person you'll ever meet. I meditate because it slows down my reactions. It slows down the outflow and causes me to stop and think about it. It can be a number of things that you can take in early in the day that can create a positive interaction for you later in the day. So I encourage you to think about what that is. And this is nothing new. This isn't a new concept I'm talking about. But here was the piece that really turned it for me, and I think this is the rub with the whole talk, is your inflow, which becomes your outflow, is then an overflow into somebody else's life, and it becomes their inflow. So whatever I'm giving out, whatever my outflow is what somebody else is taking in, and therefore becoming their outflow, and therefore becoming somebody else's inflow. And it's this ripple effect. This is why it matters. This has an influence, and you're having influence over others and yourself. So the next time you encounter someone, it will probably be today. The next time you encounter somebody that's in a bad mood and having a bad attitude, stop and think, was that caused by any of my outflow? Thank you.